Pompey Magnus, I have a question concerning your friend and co-consul, the darling of Venus, Gaius Julius Caesar. Why does his chair remain empty? Why does he not come home? His illegal war is over. Gaul is long since on its knees. Why does Caesar keep his brave soldiers from their families and friends? For 8 long years, he has gorged himself like a wolf on the blood of Gaul, and thereby made himself monstrously rich. Why? Why does he ply the mob with races and fights and gaudy feasts? Why has he paid the debts of every reprobate fool in this Senate House? Why? I'll tell you why he does these things. He wants to buy himself a crown. He wants to destroy the Republic and rule Rome as a bloody tyrant. That's why. Therefore, I move that Caesar's governorship in Gaul be terminated immediately, that his armies be disbanded, and that he be recalled to Rome to answer charges of illegal warfare, theft, bribery, and treason.
Very good, Cato. Full of vim and verve as usual.
Caesar has been generous to the people because he loves the people as I do. It is the people that rule, not you fine noblemen.
It is Pompey's soldiers that rule, not we fine noblemen.
I'm going to save us all hours of useless clamor and use my consular veto on the I do not.
Silence! Are we children? Let the consul speak.
Thank you, Cicero. I do not.
However, if I might say a few words before you continue. When confronted by a hungry wolf, it is unwise to goad the beast as Cato would have us do. But it is equally unwise to imagine the snarling animal a friend and offer your hand, as Pompey does.
Perhaps you would have us climb a tree. Caesar is my brother by sacred oath. I know his heart. He is my friend and a faithful son of the Republic. And until anyone proves that he is not, I will never betray him.
I've only to stamp my feet and legions will spring up all over Italy. I can squash Caesar like an insect, if I wished it so. I do not wish it.
One of Pompey's men. I thought it would take strategy to turn him against me, but he must have turned the moment Julia died.
And all the while he was defending you in the Senate.
The battle begins. Dearest Pompey, I believe the enclosed man belongs to you.
About time.
Speak, young Marcus. What have you to tell us?
I have been delegated by Caesar to negotiate a compromise. Caesar wishes to avoid bloodshed. He wishes to be seen as a man of reason and probity. Therefore, when his present term as governor of Gaul has ended, he is willing to accept command of a single legion province. Illyria, by preference.
I don't understand.
Command of a province. So he will have legal immunity, so that none of you rascals can go dragging him through the courts.
We are here to discuss the terms of Caesar's resignation. He could have avoided prosecution by accepting a few years' banishment.
Banishment for what?
For fomenting a tyranny, illegal warfare, theft, murder, treason.
And what shall be your punishment, Pompey? For betraying a friend? For deserting the cause of your people? For allying yourself with these so-called noblemen? What punishment for you?
Impudent whelp!
The man's term of office ends in 2 weeks.
We say 6 months.
2 weeks! Sits alone in the Brenner with one mutinous skeleton of a legion, and he dares to dictate terms to me.
Caesar has many more legions than the 13th.
On the far side, Alps.
Winter does not last forever. Spring comes, snows melt.
That's a threat.
I assure you it is no threat. Snows always melt.
If he does not get a province,
Caesar will take all measures required to protect both his interests and those of the Republic.
I'm grieved and surprised. I'd hoped we would have a rational negotiation. If that is his last word, we shall go.
Then we have no more business.
Caesar is bluffing. He wishes to appear supremely confident. Evidently, he's desperately weak, weaker than we'd thought. This is a last-ditch attempt to frighten us into making concessions while he still has the semblance of an army. He's weak, Cicero, dying.
Is that not when all the proverbs tell us to be wary? Does not the dying serpent bite deepest?
The Senate will hear Metellus, Scipio.
Conscript fathers, I propose a formal motion. Unless Gaius Julius Caesar immediately lays down his command, disbands his legions, and returns to Rome for trial, this sacred assembly will declare him a public enemy of the Senate and people of Rome. After which time, it will be the duty and the obligation of every Roman to do him harm or to kill him if they are able.
A motion is proposed. Those in favor, make it known.
Antony! Veto the motion! Stand up! Veto the motion!
I demand the floor! I demand the floor! Give him the floor!
I veto the motion! Tribune vetoes the motion!
Scipio's motion against Caesar. It doesn't stand, does it?
Stands. Entered in the annals.
Despite the Tribune raised his veto?
Not heard. Not fully admitted. No, wait. The motion stands.
Let me be clear with you. I do not wish that a motion as important as this should stand on a mere trick of procedure.
Trick, you say? This is a religious matter. There are no tricks in religion.
Session was not formally ended, correct?
Correct.
So, when we reconvene, it will formally be the same session. Then Tribune Antony may use veto on the motion.
That is so. Juno Inferna. Senile old fool. Only say so to begin with. Mark Antony must not be harmed or hindered in any way. It's vitally important that he be allowed to veto the motion. If he does not, Caesar is declared a traitor, then he has no choice but to oppose me openly, which means civil war. Antony must not be harmed.
I had hoped to provoke some kind of aggression, sure, but to try and kill a tribune!
Blood!
People's Tribune Mark Antony and 50 men of the 13th were assaulted by 1,000 head of Pompeian scum. A tribune of the plebs assaulted on the steps of the Senate House. Can you imagine a more terrible sacrilege? This is a dark day, and I stand at a fork in the road. I can abide the law and surrender my arms to the Senate and watch the Republic fall to tyranny and chaos. Or I can go home with my sword in my hand and run those maniacs to the Tarpeian Rock! And you? Are you with me?
You have what you wanted, Cato. Caesar has no choice now. Come the spring, he will cross the Alps with his legions and march on Rome.
Vorenus is a strict Catonian.
I believe in the divinity of the Republic. If Cato believes the same, then I suppose I am a Catonian.
But Cato represents the rights of the nobility. Surely a plebeian like yourself would like to see some changes made.
It should remain as it was at the founding of the Republic. Why should that change?
Because the Roman people are suffering. Because slaves have taken all the work. Because nobles have taken all the land. And the streets are full of the homeless and the starving.
I had no idea my son was such a firebrand.
The nobles say that Caesar is a war criminal. They say that he wishes to march on Rome and make himself king.
That is sacrilege. No man of honor would follow him.
Well, I'm no man of honor then. Because I say Caesar should ride in here with elephants and squash Pompey and Cato and anybody else that wants it. Never mind the law. That's what I say.
You say that because you govern your reason no better than you govern your tongue.